And that's from 1:30 to 3:30. So if you have questions about what that looks like or what a 2-hour class is compared to a normal length class, let me know because we can talk about it. She's super excited to teach it and it'll be really fun. But for now, in your child's pose, press your fingertips down into the floor. Let your hips settle back onto your heels. And then for the next 75 minutes, all you're doing is moving your body through space and seeing what comes up for you today. So take a deep breath in and fill yourself all the way up. Big exhale out. 2 more like that. A long inhale, fill up your lungs, your upper back, and exhale it out. 1 more, fill up all the way. Exhale all the way. And start to build your Ujjayi breath, that 4-part breath with a long inhale and a pause at the top. Long exhale with a pause at the bottom. Give your body the opportunity to get heavy and settle down onto the floor. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back and move your body around any way you need to in your down dog. Just check out how much space you've got to work with, where things are this morning. Maybe it gives you the opportunity to check in with something that might need more space. And walk your feet up to your hands, hang in ragdoll. So you bend your knees a little or a lot, and then pull the pit of your belly way in and up so you can round your low back up toward the ceiling. Keep adding more breath, big and full. That fills your lungs and then clears everything out of your chest on your exhale. Press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your thumbs to heart center. Set your intention for practice. Pick one specific thing that you want to stay focused on. And we'll send out those intentions with 3 big ohms. Deep inhale. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine. High to low push-up, step back. Upward facing dog, open up your chest. Downward facing dog, press your hips back. Take a full breath in together. Empty it out. Good, 2 more like that. Breath in. Big exhale. Last one. Empty everything out. Look forward and move, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Rise up to standing. Stretch up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push-up. Step back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Purposeful exhale. Good. Number 2, fill up. Empty. Last one. Empty completely. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Extended mountain. Draw your breath in all the way up to your fingertips. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High to low. Step back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Push the air back out. Yeah, purposeful about it. Inhale. Empty. Last one. Empty to the pit of your belly. Look forward and move. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Bow down. Rise to stand. Big inhale. Lift your chest. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Press your thumbs down on your exhale. Yeah, connect them. Breath in, breath out. One more. Empty completely. Step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift, fold down. One more, Sun A. Rise up to standing and reach. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Empty it out. Breathe in, fill up. Press your chest to your thighs on your exhale. Yeah, let it get soft. One more. Empty it out. Jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Keep the breath moving, but sit way back in your hips. Lift and spread your toes off of the floor. Yes, now squeeze your inner thighs together so you start to create heat from the legs all the way up. One more inhale here. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. And if you're jumping back, it's straight to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Pause on this one and take a few breaths. So it gives you the time to get settled down into your feet, into a nice deep lunge with that front leg. Good. Now root down through the outer edge of your back foot. Press it down into the floor. One more inhale. Chaturanga, hands to the mat. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side, warrior one. Step in, couple of breaths on this side. Take the time to smear the soles of your feet down into your mat. Maybe even the toes get light in this warrior one. Nice, Janet. One more breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 big breaths. In. Get empty. Breath number 2. Empty out. Last one. Push all the air back out. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose for 1 breath this time. Reach. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push up. Get your fingertips down into the mat. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Step into it. 1 breath to reach up. Low push up on your exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side warrior one. Step into it. Long, slow inhale. Chaturanga, hands to the floor. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Yeah, sighs can happen. Breath in and clear it. One more. Empty completely. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Sit way back in your hips. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Keep building that breath 1 pose at a time. Upward facing. Downward facing. Warrior one on the right. Step through. Long inhale all the way up. Chaturanga on your exhale. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step it through. 1 breath to hit the peak of the pose. Low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Full breath. Exhale. Yes, 1 more. Push all the air back out. Move forward. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Fold and empty. Chair pose. Big inhale. Fold and empty. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one on the right. Step into it. Take a deeper lunge in your front leg. Yes. Chaturanga. Hands to the mat. Up dog. Downward dog. Left side. Step through. Deep lunge. Knee over your front ankle. Nice, Sam. Chaturanga. Hands to the floor. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in together. Big breath out. 2 more. Fill. Get empty. Last one. Push all the air out. Jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose, down and back. Fold. Halfway lift. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, right side. Step. Set your gaze on one point. Low push-up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step it through. You got it. Plug your big toe mounds into the floor. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Purposeful exhale. Full inhale. Push the air out. One more. Empty to the pit of your belly. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Bow down. Chair pose, last on B. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Low push-up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Warrior one on the right. Step into it. Lift your chest up to the ceiling. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Step through. Chest all the way up. Lunge deep. Low push-up. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Whew, warmed up, made some space already. Send your right leg up to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. You can stay here in three-legged or slow as you can. Flip your dog. 2 flat feet on the floor. Nice control. Then once you've got your feet connected to the floor, fingertips connected to the floor, stretch your chest nice and broad. Nice, Georgia, where your collarbones can reach apart from one another. Good, Charlie. Flip back over, side plank. Plant your right palm, send your left hand up to the sky. So you create the base of the pose however it needs to be. A leg in the air, your bottom knee down on the floor for stability. Set your gaze on one spot. How's your breathing here? Yeah, that's steady, rhythmic, 4-part breath the entire way. For one more inhale, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. Slow and smooth. Flip your dog. You got it. Whatever's touching the floor, press down on purpose. Make a full connection to open up the space across the front side of your body. Beautiful. Flip back over, side plank. Left hand down, right arm up to the sky. You want everything stacked from that bottom wrist to the elbow to the shoulder, all the way up to the top fingertips. Good. Big inhale. Reach. High to low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Take one breath in together. A big breath out. Right side crescent lunge. Step your right foot between your hands. You've got time to set up the base of this crescent lunge. You can start with your hands on your hips or your hands up to the sky. And everybody come down low in your lunging leg. Stack your front knee. Yeah, that was way down in your lunging leg. Knee on top of your ankle. Now I know that you're kind of cheating yourself in the beginning. Like there's the pose where you can hang out and you're like, yeah, no problem. I could be here all day. And then the pose you're like, I hope we're not here all day. That's the lunge you want to be in. Keep your legs as they are. Lift yourself up and out of your pelvis. Yes, so you can lengthen all the way up to your fingertips. Keep all of that space. Hands to heart center. Twist right. Anchor your elbow just outside your knee, and you can keep your hands together or open up your arms. Up to you. Stay anchored into both feet. The big toe mount on your front foot straight down into the floor. Good. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. Squeeze all the air back out. Then warrior two. Face the other way. Come down deep in warrior two legs. A lot of you have super long legs, so take up a lot of space front to back on your mat so you can come down into the lunge. Yeah, knee on top of your ankle. And if it feels like your knee's going past the ankle, take a longer stance. Good. Stay low in your legs. Flip your front palm. Reach forward and reverse your warrior. Reach up and back. So lunge stays deep and all the length happens from your front hip crease all the way up and out through those top fingertips. Reach so far back your front leg straightens, gets super long. Back to warrior two. Extended side angle. Drop your elbow to your thigh or your fingertips down by your front arch. Block is a great tool to use here to bring the floor up to your bottom hand. And then notice if you came out of your lunge a little bit, recommit to it. Knee over your ankle. Add the bind, top arm around your back. Good. So you can peel that top shoulder onto the back side of your body. There you go, Jordan, just like that. One more big inhale. High to low push up on your exhale. Upward facing dog. Open up. Downward facing dog. Press back. Take a breath in together. A big exhale out. Left side crescent lunge. Step your left foot between your hands. And take your time. Get situated. The whole ball mound of your back foot straight down into the floor so that you can press your back thigh up to the ceiling. Good. Come down deeper. Front knee over front ankle. Yes. Where your leg muscles have to squeeze into your leg bones to create the stable foundation. From there, lift yourself up and out. Long sideways, long arms, all the way up to your fingertips. Beautiful. Hands to heart. Twist left. Breathing got a little quiet. Step back into that. Yeah, just right back into it. Then open your arms if that's where you're headed. Each time the poses feel like they're more challenging or things are getting too complicated, fall back into the breath and let things get simple again. One more breath here. Stay for the exhale. Twist. Warrior two. Up and around. Commit to the deep lunge in your warrior two legs. Front knee over front ankle. Press into the outer edge of your back foot so both feet are super active. Flip your front palm, reach forward, reverse the warrior. Low in the lunge, long in the sideways. Yeah, some of you are recommitting to the lunge. Like that, stay deep. Then stretch so far back you straighten your front leg. Get long, warrior two to extended side angle. Grab the block or fingertips by the arch. The lower you go into the lunge, the more space you have to take the bind. Top arm behind your back. Then a few of you are taking the full bind on the other side, so you're welcome to take that here. You have more room for that when you're deeper in the lunge. Big inhale, open your chest. Chaturanga, hands to the mat. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in together. Sigh it out. Yeah, even louder than that. Breathe in. Yeah, one more. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Steady, rhythmic breath. Send your tailbone to the back edge of your mat so even your low back can start to stretch out and press back behind you. Hands to heart center, twist right. Open your arms. You can have the bottom arm on the outside of your leg or in between your knees, whichever's a better fit. Then everybody sit 2 inches deeper in your hips. Good. Heart 2 inches higher. Yes. Stay right here and breathe. 5, 4, 3, fingertips awake. 2, 1. Chair pose. Forward fold. Take your first 2 fingers around your big toes. You can bend your knees a little or a lot to make that happen. Come back into your breath if it got away from you. Yeah, you might like shaking your head out yes and no, or a sway side to side. Take on the movement that feels like the best fit. Release your grip. Take crow pose from the head of your mat. Spread out your fingers super wide. We have an opportunity to take 2 crows this morning, so if you want to take on a different variation, you're welcome to do that. Yeah, goddess squat's a good place to be. Crow on your back. Lots of different things going on. So you choose the best fit, then everybody start breathing. Yeah, let the breath be the first and foremost piece of the crow pose in whatever iteration you're taking. One more inhale here. Step or jump back, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Empty it out. Breathe in. Exhale. Last one. Clear it completely. Step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. Down and back. Everybody collectively held their breath, so start breathing again in your chair pose. Hands to heart twist left. It's like that, though. Like you gear yourself up for the pose you don't want. Open your arms, and you're like, and then hold your breath, and the pose gets harder. Spread your fingertips apart. Low in the hips so you can lift your heart. Yes. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair pose. Fold. Step on your palms, toes all the way up to your wrists for gorilla. Yeah, mat with distance with your feet might feel better than feet together, then choose that. The thing about stepping into the poses that are challenging for you or difficult for you, it's important to step into those spaces because you'll only be there for a few breaths. You try it on, you do what you can, you do your best, and the pose is over before you know it. With that in mind, release your hands. Crow number 2. If you want to take this one upside down, you're more than welcome to do that. Crow, goddess squat. Maybe an inversion is here for you. Everyone set your gaze on one spot. Drishti. Long, steady breath. A purposeful breath that roots whatever's touching the floor into the mat and into the ground. Good. One more inhale. Step or jump back, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Empty it out. Full breath. Big exhale. Last one. Empty completely. Move forward. Halfway lift. Fold down. Rise all the way up to standing. Eagle pose, right side. Right arm under, right leg over. Right away, lock your eyes on one spot and then put your attention on your breathing. Regardless of what the shape of the pose looks like, let there be breath. Yeah, the top leg could be floating out in space, wrapped around the back of your calf or down on the floor like a kickstand. And start to wrap skin to muscle to bone so the whole body coils in towards center line. Left side eagle, left arm under, left leg over. Steady breath. A lot of the time when we're paying attention to balancing in our practice or balancing things off the mat and out in your life, the breath gets shorter, it disappears completely. Yeah, there it is. Make it a habit here so that it's easier when things get stressful or convoluted off the mat. It's easier to come back to breath. Right side eagle, second set. When it's easier to come back to breath, it's easier to pull yourself out of a spiral or getting overwhelmed with something. Because you're keeping it simple and in the moment. And inhale with a pause and exhale with a pause. Switch sides. And then while you're in the space, whether you're practicing in studio or practicing at home weeks from now, months from now, you've got the breath to fall back on to connect you to everyone else practicing at the same time. Your breath being a contribution to the space all at the same time. Standing leg raise, right side. Grab a hold of your right raised knee or your extended right foot. You're more than welcome to use a wrap or a towel around your right to help lengthen up toward the ceiling. Pause right here in center. Yep, resist the urge to open the leg just yet. Keep it right out in front. Flex your ankle a lot, the lifted ankle. Yeah. Open to the right. Reach and look left. Eyes land right on one spot. Stick it to one point that's not moving and then land in the breath again. Back to center. Take airplane. Press your foot straight back. Reach your arms straight back. Get super long in your lifted leg in a way that it could touch whatever's behind you, the wall, the yogi behind you, piece of furniture. Half moon, left hand down towards the floor, right arm up to the ceiling. You can put your hand on a block or on a wall. Flex your lifted ankle a lot. That helps steer the balance and maintain a sense of stillness in the pose. Good. Now you can stay here in half moon or take sugar cane by bending your top knee and grabbing your top ankle. Nice, Elizabeth. Flex that ankle once you've got a good grip on it in your sugar cane. One more breath. Both feet to the mat. Shake it out. Rise up to standing. Standing leg raise, left side. I love when people come out of a pose and they're smiling instead of grimacing. That's a good sign. We're all in a good place right now. Standing leg raise, left side. Because here's the thing, you could get frustrated or pissed off about the thing, and then it's still going to be what it is, or you can just enjoy it and let it be messy. Tall spine here in center. Steady rhythmic breath. Open to the left, reach and look right. I had a student many years ago who's since retired in Arizona, but he used to say, yoga, you have to have a childlike quality, not childish, but childlike. So there's allowed to be some magic and some space to mess up. Come back to center, take airplane. Let there be room for things to be wobbly, room for things to be a little unsure, a little messy, and you're just along for the ride to see what happens. Press through the sole of your lifted foot a lot. Yeah, Jordan, there you go. So even that foot is helping control the balance. Half moon, right hand down, left arm up. It helps to keep your gaze on one spot, open up your body, and then shift your gaze if you want to, instead of doing them both at the same time. Nice control. Then you stay and work on the half moon or take sugar cane. Grab a hold of the top ankle. It's usually easier to grab it on one side than the other. So maybe this side you can get it when you couldn't grab it on the other. Nice. One more breath. Both feet to the mat. Rise up to standing. Standing bow or dancer's pose on the right. You can grab a strap for dancers. If you're taking standing bow, soft crease of the elbow faces out. Grab the inside of your ankle. You want the soft crease of the elbow out so you can get your shoulder on the back side of your body. Then tip forward when you're ready. Eyes on one spot. You've got time in this pose. All there is the breath, and then you play around with pushing back and reaching forward, lifting the foot a little bit higher. Yeah. Switch sides. Left side, standing bow or dancer. Grab the inside of your left ankle or use the strap. How's your breathing? This pose asks a lot of your body, the balance, a back bend. There's lots of different things going on. Put your attention on your breath so it's simple. There you go. One more inhale. Switch sides. Right side, standing bow or dancer. You got the shape of the thing, the feel of it. Go for the second set. You'll have a few extra breaths in this second set, so really come up to the edge of the pose where your chest couldn't go further forward, your shin could not go any further back than it's already going. Nice, Janet. One more inhale. Switch. Last one. You got it. Steady rhythmic breath. If there's a space where you got a little bit lightheaded, you need to exhale through your mouth, do that, and then come back to the 4-part breathing. There's always time for you to pause and reset and then go back into the thing. Last breath. Both feet to the mat. Tree pose. We'll do the hip opener version of tree pose this morning. So cross your right foot over your left thigh like a figure 4. Hands start at heart center. We'll go in stages for this arm balance. So you can stop at any one of the steps. This is step 1. Step 2, stick your tailbone way out behind you and bring your elbows down to your shin. Tailbone way out behind you so it can stretch out the side of your glute, maybe even the side of your hip. Step 3, bring your fingertips down to the floor or a block. You'll probably need to bend your left knee to get your fingertips down to the ground or the block. Yep. I don't know about you, but this feels like a lot of information in my hip and in my glutes. So you can pause right here. For those of you wanting to take the arm balance, it's flat palms on the floor, right shin into the back of your triceps. Then you lean forward just like crow pose and lift your back foot off of the ground. Those of you sticking with fingertips on the ground and hips a little higher in the air, keep sticking the tailbone straight out. You got it, Angie. Just lean all the way forward. Let it take your weight. Yes. All right. Press into your standing foot. Rise all the way up to standing. Shake it out. Left side, left foot across the thigh. Number 4. Step 1. Back into your breathing now that you know where we're going. Step 2, elbows to the thigh, or elbows to the shin, rather. Tailbone out behind you. This hip might give you more information than the other. That's okay. Fingertips down to the block or the floor. You can bend your right knee as much as you need to. Then palms on the ground for the arm balance if you're headed there. Your shin to the back of your arms. Nice. Keep breathing. Press into your standing foot. Rise up to standing. Shake it out. All right. Come up to the head of your mat if you're not there already. Extended mountain. Reach your hands up to the ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Lengthen out your spine. High to low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Empty it out. Good. Breathe in and clear it. Brand new space. One more. Empty it out. Right side triangle. Step your right foot between your hands. Keep going with the steady breath. You can have your right hand down on your front shin or on a block outside your shin. Purposeful breathing in a way that the person closest to you can definitely hear your breath so their breath can sync up with yours. Now, everybody, pull your front hip crease straight back, deep into your body so you can lengthen out your front leg. Yeah, good adjustments. You're pulling it back to lengthen the underside of that front leg. So not so much that you're locking out the knee, but close to it at a long, straight leg. Now, top arm behind your back, half bind. You got it. Depending on your range of motion, it'll be on the outside of your hip. Maybe it's tucked into the front hip crease. If you've got your fingertips in your front hip crease, you can use that hand to slide your hip back and deepen that front hip crease even more. Nice, Marine. Press into your feet, rise all the way to stand. Side facing wide leg forward fold. Both feet face the long edge of your mat. Hinge down. You've got 2 options on this side. You can work the fold or take an inversion. So that might mean you're working the crown of your head to the floor so that you can get your hands on the floor and make a triangle with the top of your head and your hands. Stable foundation to get upside down. If you're working on the fold, the longest spine you can create here. Tailbone up to the sky, crown of the head towards the ground. A little bit of softness in the backs of your knees so that you've got room to tip the tailbone up high. Good. A couple more breaths to get complete with where you're working. Press into your feet. Rise all the way up to standing. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Turn the feet to face the front edge of your mat. Take a bind behind your back, either hand to elbow or reverse namaste behind you. Hinge forward. Like you intend to hook your chin on your front big toe. Super long spine. Add more breath. Everybody lift and spread your toes, even the back toes. Yes. Get into the four corners of both of your feet rather than gripping with your toes. There's more surface area in the soles of your feet when the toes are lifted. Nice. Keep the feet awake. Twisting triangle. Left arm down, right arm straight out from the shoulder. Super helpful to have that bottom hand on a block because then you've got room to lengthen out your spine. So that twist stays in your torso. Hips stay square to the back edge of your mat. Good adjustments because the right hip will try and pull forward the way that you're looking. Keep it pulled back. You can stay here in twisting triangle or take twisting half moon. Shift forward with your block or your hand. Float your back leg up to the sky. You'll need to flex your lifted ankle right away to make it lift. Yeah, Rachel, you got to keep flexing your ankle. Lift the leg up toward the ceiling. Beautiful. One more breath. Wherever you are, high to low push-up you go. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Big exhale out. Left side triangle, left foot between your hands. You got it. There's way more room in your body now. Keep the breath nice and steady as you set up triangle. Long, straight legs. Start to pull the front hip crease deep into your body to lengthen out the whole front leg. Top arm around your back, around the outside of the hip or tucked into the hip crease. Imagine that front thigh bone is pulling up and into the hip. It's not going to physically pull in closer, but the muscles can hug that joint into your body. Lots of length, everybody. Good work. Press into your feet. Rise all the way up to standing. Side facing wide leg fold. Turn the feet. This time take a bind. You can clasp your hands at your low back or grab a towel or strap between your hands. Hinge forward. Add more breath. All right, those of you clasping your hands together, can you squeeze your palms together? So it's not just the fingertips that are gripping, but it's the palms pressed together, even if that means your hands are coming back closer to your hips. Those of you with the strap, a little bit of softness in your elbows. So the stretch stays in your shoulders and upper back rather than your locked out elbows. Now that you've got that grip and your elbows situated, breathe. Let there be a sense of softness to it so that that tissue can open up around your shoulders, especially when it's this cold outside. Release your hands down. Rise up to standing. Namaste, front facing forward fold with your bind. You want the feet at least hip width distance apart so you can square the hips. Then hinge forward. Yeah, you might even try your hips a little wider than hip width and see if that works better for you. It just makes more room so that it's easier to square the hips. Lift and spread the toes off the mat. Now that you're in the pose, press the soles of your feet into the ground. The big toe mounds, that space right behind your big toe, the joint that's touching the floor, press down. Nice. Keep the feet exactly as they are. Twisting triangle. Right arm down, left arm out. Nothing changes about your legs. It's all about the twist in your torso. Steady, rhythmic breath. Use the inhales to lengthen your spine and the exhales to wring and twist your body out. Stay or twisting half moon. Shift forward. Lift the back leg up. You'll need to flex that ankle the moment the foot leaves the floor to help keep the leg lifted. Yeah, there it is. Big inhale. High to low push up. Big breath in up dog. Fill up. Downward facing dog. It's a good place for another side. Deep breath in together. Exhale it out. Number 2, breathe in and out. One more. Empty completely. Roll out to a high plank. Shoulders stacked right on top of your wrist. We're going to hold the plank for a few breaths. So you can drop your knees and keep the plank in your upper body or maintain the whole body in the plank. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way to the mat. Locust pose is next. Reach your hands back by your hips and turn your palms to face the floor. Down, rise up. Lift your chest, lift your shoulders. Long, long legs, long toes even. Press them back behind you. Then everybody tuck your chin. Pull your jawbone back towards your throat to lengthen the back of your neck. Yeah, like I've got my hand on the back of your head and you want to press and resist my hand. Good. One more inhale. Lower down. Rock out your hips left and right. Second set of locusts. Hands can stay where they are, or you can clasp them at your low back. Rise up. Keep that slight tuck to your chin. Long neck. So even the neck is stretched out long ahead of you. Beautiful. Last inhale, lift and lengthen, lower down. Take it side to side. Floor bow is next. We're taking 2. So if you want to take one leg at a time, you're more than welcome to do that. Bend your knees and grab your ankles. One leg or both, and then march your thighs together so they're parallel. Good. Rise up. Press your shins straight back. Shins straight back. So whether you're lifting up a little or a lot, all about the length in your spine, the length along the front side of your body. Go for space rather than height. Big inhale. Lower down. Take the legs left and right. Doing great. You're building your momentum through the back bends to bigger and bigger back bends. Second set, switch legs or grab both again. Floor bow, rise up. Soles of the feet straight up to the ceiling as if you could leave footprints right up on the rafters. Good. Bring in the breath. Big and full across the front side of your chest. One more inhale. Lower down. Take it side to side to release your low back. Upward facing dog. Palms by your low ribs. Rise up and off the mat. Downward facing dog. Press back. Lower your knees for camel. Knees on the mat. And then you can put a block between your thighs if you want to help squeeze in towards center line. Hands start out on your low back. Lift your chest up to the ceiling and start to make your way back. You can keep your hands on your low back or take them down to your heels if that feels okay for the low back. It takes listening to what's actually going on versus your ego saying, yeah, you have to put your hands on your heels every time. Is there space for you to put your hands on your heels? Next inhale, rise up and out, sit back on your heels for high hero. You can have your toes tucked or untucked, up to you. Sit with a tall spine, then lift the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button, so your tailbone can point to the floor. Camel number 2, rise up. Up through the chest like there's a string attached to your sternum that's going to pull straight up to the ceiling. Stay with the hands on the low back or take them down to your heels. This pose is notorious for shortening your breath or making you feel like, oh, my breath is caught in my chest. I can't take a deep breath. Stick with it. Long and steady inhales and exhales. Next inhale, rise up and out. Sit back on your heels. Set your gaze right on one spot, especially if you feel a little lightheaded. Eyes on one spot. Swing your legs around. Come down onto your back for bridge pose. Two flat feet on the floor in your bridge, and then heels just close enough that you can barely touch them with your fingertips. Want your ankles stacked right below your knees. Press down and rise up. Tuck your shoulder heads underneath you one at a time so you can clasp your hands at your low back. Yeah, and then once you've got the hands clasped, you're holding onto a towel between your hands, perfect. Just keep marching those shoulder heads underneath to lift your chest up higher. How's your breathing here in your bridge? Yeah, steady and rhythmic, right? To fill up all the space because you've made a ton of room already so far in your practice. Fill it with breath. One more inhale. Lower down. Knees left and right. Second set of bridge. Press into both feet. Rise up. Bridge pose. Clasp the hands. Tuck the shoulders underneath you. So once you've got those shoulders tucked underneath, draw your shoulder heads, the outside edges of your shoulders, straight back. Now bring your right knee into your chest. Press your right foot up to the sky. Lengthen that leg as high up to the ceiling as it'll go, as far away from your opposite foot as you can. Knee into your chest, foot on the floor. Bring your left knee into your chest. Left foot up to the sky. As much as you reach up with that left foot, press down with your right foot. Push them away from one another. Yes, there you go. Knee in, foot on the floor. Lower your hips, knees side to side. Stick with bridge pose or move on to wheel. You are more than ready for wheel. For wheels, tuck your fingertips under your shoulders. Press down into your palms. Rise up. Bridge or wheel number one. Toes face straight ahead at 12 o'clock. Plug them into the earth. Yes. Then tuck your chin and lower down. Breathe in together. Breathe out together. Number two, press, lift, go. You just choose the pose, bridge or wheel, and up you go. Yeah, no hesitation, right? Because you've done a lot of work to get to this space in your body. Then tuck your chin and come down. Breath in. Breath out. Number three, bridge, wheel, go up. Lift and go up. Eyes set while you're up. Tuck your chin, lower down. Breathe in. Breath out. Number four, rise up. You're past the halfway point. Keep with it. Bridge or wheel, up and away from the mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together a lot. Lower down. Breath in. Breath out. Only two more. Press and go. Wheel pose. Rise up. Inner thighs hug to center line. Keep squeezing them in. Lower down. Breath in. Breath out. Last one. Last bridge. Last wheel. Press, lift, move. Fully express your body up and away from the mat. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Press the soles of the feet together. Let your knees drop out to the side. Hands wherever you want to put your hands. How's your breathing here? A sense of aliveness, like energy moving, maybe tingling happening, your heartbeat. Very present in this moment. Dead bug, soles of the feet up to the sky. You can grab the outside edges of the feet or grab the backs of your thighs to pull your knees down towards the floor. Yeah, rocking side to side might be a good fit, or hanging out in stillness is sometimes a better fit, so you pick the one you want. Legs straight up to the sky. Set yourself up for scissor legs, either hands behind your head or hands underneath your hips for more support. Lower your right leg halfway to the floor. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, switch the legs. Stay and breathe in. Exhale, switch. Keep going with your breath. Keep the switch on the exhale so that you can use the exhale to integrate and pull the belly muscles down to the floor. Keep going for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Flex your ankles. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. You got it. 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, leg straight up. Oh, yes. Hands can stay where they are. Go underneath your hips. Lower both legs 30 degrees towards the floor. Lower them 60. Lower your legs to hover just above your mat. Press through the soles of your feet. Legs back up in the air. Belly down to the mat, shoulders down. Reset. Lower 30. Lower 60. Lower to hover. Flutter kick the feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs straight up. Reset. Last time. Belly down and shoulders down. Lower 30. Lower 60. Lower to hover. Tiny circles with your feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs up. Knees into your chest. I know, the circles get me every time too. You're like, I'm barely doing anything. Why does this hurt so much? Okay, hands behind your head. Abdominal twister next. Elbow to opposite knee. Go for it. Go at your own pace, your own speed. You can just do the upper or lower parts of your body or both combined. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into your chest. Rock forward and back 3 times. Come up into boat pose. Start with your feet on the ground in your boat. Feet on the ground in your boat so that you can lift. I want you to lift the pit of your belly right below your belly button, in and up enough that it kicks on and you can get your sit bones down into the mat for boat pose. Keep that action happening. Maybe your feet come off the floor. But if you start to lose that engagement in the low belly, keep the feet on the floor, lift up through the chest. That's where the boat's supposed to be. So when you lift your legs super high and round your back, it takes all the work out of your low belly. You want it in the lowest part of your torso. Maybe you lift one leg. Low belly in and up. You got it. Lift the other leg. I know. Leg back down. Round your spine. Wrap your arms around your legs. Downward facing dog. Make your way there. You can go through a vinyasa or just step straight back to down dog. So much work to build that container. Right side half pigeon is next. Right knee to your right wrist. You can certainly take the pose on your back and hug your shin into your chest like a figure 4 with your legs. Thigh parallel with the edge of your mat. You decide how far forward you bring your shin. And create a place for your forehead to rest. So whether that's on the block or on 2 stacked fists, place for that to rest. Steady breathing here. Different quality about the breath now. It's still 4 parts. The inhale, pause, exhale, pause. But now the inhales and exhales can be a little longer. So the breath is less about generating heat here and more about spreading the heat that you've already created evenly throughout your entire body. Spreading that heat into your hips so the tissue can soften and open up. And each time your brain starts to wander off somewhere else, no big deal. As soon as you notice, you bring it right back to the breathing. Back to what's happening here and now. You've got a few more breaths in this half pigeon. You can stay where you are or take king pigeon. If you want to take king pigeon, you'll walk yourself up, bend your back knee, and grab a hold of your back ankle. Liana, you got the special spot with the extra sunshine right in your face. Yeah. King pigeons, lift the front of your pelvis up to your belly button. Yeah, good adjustments. That saves space in your low back when you're coming up. Downward facing dog, shake it out. Left side half pigeon, left knee to left wrist. Thigh parallel with the edge of your mat. A place for your forehead to rest. Steady, rhythmic breath. It took all of the work you've already done to get to this point where opening is really possible in your physical body. Opening that was definitely not possible in this way only 20, 30 minutes ago. Create nice long inhales that soften the muscles around your left hip joint. Long exhales that let your bones get heavy down towards the floor. Stay or king pigeon on this side. You can use either hand when you reach back for king pigeon. They're both the right answer. And collect the front of your pelvis, lift it up. It's like your pelvis is a bowl of water and you don't want to spill water out of the bowl. You lift it up. Every last drop. Downward facing dog. Shake it out. Frog pose or seated wide leg fold. If you're taking frog facing the floor, make sure you've got some cushion underneath both of your knees. So that could be a rolled up mat. That could be a towel underneath one of your knees. If you're taking frog against the wall, make sure your hips are far enough away from the wall that your knees can be at 90 degrees. Far enough away so they're at 90. Those of you taking the seated wide leg fold, a little bit of softness in your knees and then toes straight up to the ceiling. Yeah, so lots of different things going on and you just customize and create the pose that you need. Frogs, you want your hips in line with your knees. A couple of you can scoot a little bit forward or a little bit back and line those up. Yeah, good adjustments. And then right into the breath. All that's left to do in this pose is breathe. Once you've taken the shape of the pose, gravity will take over and do the pose. I know for me, that was one of the most challenging things of doing this pose. I'm very much a like, give me a thing to do and I will do it 110% and try super hard at the thing. This is don't try and don't go hard. This is let it go and let the pose do the thing. So while the shape of the pose will open up your hips, the backs of your legs, maybe your groin muscles, where can you actively soften other things in your body? Just by breathing. It might be your jaw that needs to soften. Or the back of your neck, if that's where you hold your tension, the upper back of your neck, breathe into that space. You've got your fingers clenched, relax that space. Because there's always a balance in each and every pose. There's a part that's working and a part that's soft and easy. Few more breaths here. You got it. Make your way out of your frog or your seated wide leg fold. Back onto your mat for seated single leg extension. Right leg straight out, left heel in towards your right thigh. You've got two options this morning. You can fold straight over that leg or take a side bend and stretch out the whole length of your side waist. So you choose the one that works best. I'm a big fan of the side bend when it's cold outside because my side waist gets super tight in the wintertime. So if you're in that same camp and then you take the side bend and you're like, and now I can't take a deep breath because it's so tight, come out of it just a little bit so you can still deeply breathe. That will soften the muscles on the side of the waist. Yeah, rather than trying to force the side waist open or the low back and around the hip open if you're taking the forward fold, breath instead so it can soften. Switch sides, left leg out, right heel in. A side bend or a forward fold. Keep both of your hips down into the floor, no matter which variation you're taking. So you're really pulling in both directions, one down into the mat, one out and through your fingertips. Rise back up, seated forward fold, both legs straight out. Two options here. If you fold with a long flat back, it'll work the muscles along your spine. If you round your spine forward, it'll stretch the connective tissue around your spine. So you pick which one you want to do. Both of them are good. Both of them are the right answer. Point your toes up to the ceiling. Yeah, those of you with the long back, press your chest forward out of your chest, your heart right up to the surface of your chest. Those of you rounding, you can let your head hang down towards your legs to stretch the back of your neck. Good adjustments, little shifts and moving here and there. Tabletop or reverse plank. Plant your palms behind your hips. Fingertips face the front edge of your mat. Then rise up. Lift your hips. Long legs for the reverse plank. Bent knees with flat feet for the tabletop. Good. Set your gaze on one spot. You can drop your head back if that feels okay for your neck. If it doesn't, gaze down the front side of your body to your knees. One more breath in. Lift your hips. Lower down. Take fish pose. You can stick a block between your shoulder blades or tuck your hands underneath you and get your elbows down to the floor. Either way, you want the top of your head to touch the ground. So if it's not touching, adjust the block or scoot your hands further underneath you so the top of your head can touch. Eyes stay open, right on one spot. Then choose something on purpose with your legs. You can have your toes pointed or Supta Baddha legs. I'll put this block right under your head. There you go. Yeah, much better. Eyes stay open, right on one spot. See what you see. Then we'll take 3 lion's breaths here in your fish pose. So when you exhale, you're going to stick out your tongue and make some noise. Take a deep breath in. Yeah, nice and loud. Breathe in. Good. One more. Roll off the side of your block or untuck your hands. Come down onto your back. One more time, opportunity to get in an inversion. So headstands and handstands, you know where to go. You've got your time. Take it. If you're taking waterfall, you can lay down on your back with your legs straight in the air, maybe with a block underneath your low back. Those of you heading to the land of shoulder stand, do so through plow pose first. So you've got time to march your elbows together behind you. And then send your legs up to the sky. All different upside down variations. I like it. Regardless of the upside down, gaze up at the ceiling instead of side to side. Anytime you've got weight on the shoulders with the back of the head on the ground, gaze goes straight up to the ceiling. How's your breathing from here? Charlie, flex your ankles. Yeah, there you go. Steady rhythmic breath so your body has time to settle, to press down into foundation. Gaze still set, breath steady all the way to the end of your practice. Headstands and handstands. You can make your way down and either take child's pose or high hero to reset. Shoulder stands, take plow. Pause in your plow. If you're in waterfall and want to take plow, go right ahead. Long legs behind you in your plow. Plow to deaf yogi. Bend your knees, hug them to the sides of your head. So you're round like a little ball. You can round your spine towards the front edge of your mat. And slowly lower your spine to the floor, piece by piece. Like you've got a strand of beads and you're letting one touch at a time all the way down. Nice control. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Supine twist. Drop your knees to the right. Twist and look to the left. Melt your shoulder blades down to the mat. Even if your top knee is floating up in space, shoulder blades down to the mat. Supine twist, opposite way. You may need to scoot your bottom hip back behind you a little bit so your hips can stack. Supta Baddha Konasana. One last time, bring the soles of your feet to touch and press your big toe mounds together. Let your bones get heavy on the floor. If you're in studio, you've got a cold eye towel by the upper corner of your mat. You can put that wherever you'd like. Shavasana. Stretch out your legs nice and long. Arms long down by your side. Take up some space. And take a long breath in through your nose. Fill yourself up and up and up. Exhale it out. Let your entire body rest easy on your mat. Deepen your breath. Bring movement back into your hands and your feet. And plant your feet on the floor and rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. We'll finish our practice together with 3 final ohms. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Thumb knuckles to forehead center. Thank you all so much. Signing in online, coming into the studio in the freezing cold, and making your practice happen this morning. Namaste. Good work, everybody. All right, towels of any kind can go in the hamper just outside the studio door. If you borrowed blocks or straps, you can leave those up here so I can take care of them. Have an awesome rest of your Wednesday. And if you have any questions about getting signed up for the January workshops, let me know because we still have a little bit of space left. Have a great day.